It's an honor. It's a great honor, actually, for me to participate in the closing ceremony of the 5th edition of the Africa IoT and AI Challenge. First, I would like to congratulate our host nation, the UAE, on their 50th National Day. Congratulations, UAE. I would like to congratulate the winners of the finals and thanking this year's participants from 6 African nations: Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Tunisia, and Morocco, for their impressive efforts and their innovative project submissions. I speak for everyone when I say we are confident that the generations to come will make remarkable contributions to the ICT industry and continue to ensure its growth. I would like to thank the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, and our partners throughout the Middle East and North Africa, including the Egyptian Academy of Scientific Research and Technology, the Egyptian Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, Nile University, the Arab Academy of Science, Technology, and Maritime, Dubai University, and Mohammed Al-Khamis University in Rabat, the Global Company for Innovation and Entrepreneur, GIE, Idea Space, and Wakandai AI Institute for their contributions, support, and for organizing and implementing this event on the ground. Years ago, the group that I'm representing, Binya, was established with a vision to enable the development of a knowledge-based society. When we started Binya a few years ago, this was a time for me to land back to my home country, Egypt. Prior to that, I was involved in an entrepreneurial project, which is, I think, it's one of the very few entrepreneurial projects in infrastructure worldwide. I was honored to be the founder of a submarine cable connecting all the Gulf countries to each others and connecting them to the world. Building a submarine cable, starting eastward from India, landing in all the countries around the Arabian Gulf, and then around the Arabian Peninsula, the Red Sea, crossing Egypt, Mediterranean again in the water, landing in Europe. When I started this in 2008, it was lying on a napkin. I have this napkin till today. This line is a physical cable, 40,000 kilometers, connecting 25 countries now, because the cable got extended eastward to Singapore. If there is a book for the challenges and showstoppers, I went through all the chapters. Changes of political map during these years since I started the project. The project by itself is very challenging, raising huge fund that's needed because this is critical infrastructure that requires hundreds of millions of dollars. So the odds and most of the feedback that I was receiving when I started this as an idea first, and when I discussed it with different stakeholders and parties, most of them either between, we know you, Ahmed, we like you, but this is very difficult. Countries tried to do this before and they did not succeed. But I was driven by the demand. This region is underserved. This is a critical infrastructure to connect these countries to each other and connect them to the world and connect the world to them. And we deserve to own our infrastructure. And there was only one single cable in the Gulf, monopoly, connecting only a few countries, not all the countries. So I took it step by step and dealing with all these challenges one by one. Just to name some, the number of permits and authorizations that I acquired to build this cable are literally 6,000 from these 25 countries, from the many different authorities, like one page each from the different stakeholders. So just imagining this number by itself is, it pushed me away and not to do this project, but took it step by step and dealing with all the challenges. I will mention one story happened with me. I have a lot, but I will just, because of your time. I chose a global partner to build the business case with me, which was British Telecom Subsea Center of Excellence, to transform my idea and concept to a detailed, bankable business plan to raise an amount at that time, 2009, financial crunch, $600 million. I went to London to see the management there and try to convince them to support me in this project and to have their name with me as a principal consultant to cover the main streams: technical, commercial, financial, and regulatory, the main 4 work streams. Their response to me: this region is very difficult for many different reasons. Number of permits, huge. Pipeline crossing, spaghetti. There are lots of pipelines that you will need to cross, and you need to sign pipeline crossing agreement with the owner of each pipeline. The Gulf is shallow, so the ISO of this industry, if the seabed is 1,000 meters, which is 1 kilometer or more, it's naturally protected. But if it is less than that, you have to dig in the seabed for 1 meter or 1.5 meters and bury the cable. The deepest point in the Gulf, 100 to 120 meters, not more. So this will add more cost and more challenges as well. And there are a lot of other challenges. So in a nice way, they apologized and they told me, we don't like to have our name in a project that we see the chances for this to happen are nearly nil. So I was a bit disappointed, not a bit actually, more than a bit, but I was thinking for plan B and C. And I was in my way back. I was living in Dubai, and I was on my way back to Dubai, but I had a stop in Egypt. And during this time, I was communicating this concept and this idea with the different stakeholders, which is mainly telecom regulators in the region and ministers of ICT and operators and all of that. I remember, and if you remember, early 2008, there was a severe cable cut in the Mediterranean. It was a blackout for the region, for internet, for nearly a week. It was an avalanche in the Mediterranean that affected all the submarine cables connecting this region. Just conceptually here, and to give you just a piece of information related to carrying traffic, which is from one place to another place all over the globe, there are only 2 ways. Either cable and it should be submarine because between continents there is water, so either sea or ocean, or satellite. 95% of the traffic of the globe on submarine cables and 5% on satellite. So when this severe cable cuts happened, blackout, I received a call from the Egyptian Minister of ICT. He called me. I used to be, at that time, with this idea, I used to be the CEO of a satellite company at that time, and thinking of the submarine idea. It was just, at that time, still an idea. So he told me, Ahmed, we need immediate satellite capacity as a restoration. And he gave me the amount of capacity needed and all of that. And I told him, okay, in less than 2 hours, Your Excellency will be available capacity for Egypt as restoration. We'll talk about the details commercially later, but now this is a restoration needed. In less than 2 hours, I called him. I told him the capacity is ready. And he told me, where are you? I told him, I'm in Egypt. He told me, so you're behind all of this. You cut these cables to promote your project. I tell him, no, sir, no, Your Excellency, but this is going to be the first slide in my updated presentation, because this is the proof and supporting what I'm talking about. He told me, okay, please come. We're making a control room in the main central in Cairo. So please be next to us, because if we need any help, so we're all together. So on my way, I received a call from the CEO of British Telecom. This call was very short, just one statement in a very Shakespearean way. He told me, Ahmed Mekki, you need now to convince nobody. We are convinced. And he sent his team. We met in Dubai a week later, and they signed with me. And this was a critical milestone. What I did is just I made the effort, and with all these challenges, and thanks God, something happened that contributed. If I didn't go at that time, and this severe cable cut happened, definitely they will think about somebody else, or maybe they'll do it themselves. But he appreciated that I come up with this idea before these cable cuts happened, and he appreciated that. I have like this story many, and it happened with me personally. And being here among the African youth and Middle East youth and all of you here, I wanted just to share with you what happened with me and tell you, don't be scared from big ideas. The bigger the idea, actually, the higher chance that this will happen if there is a demand and if you take the right approach using technology. Now, the ICT infrastructure, as I mentioned, is a foundation for digital transformation. And Binya, since we started, we were focusing on this. So on the last 4 years, we contributed in mega projects in Egypt for digital transformation in different sectors. Now, I don't think any sector can make any development without dependency in a way or another on the ICT infrastructure. So now it's a catalyst for the development of all sectors. And we're using these solutions with AI and IoT will contribute in shaping much better future for our region. Thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for this inspirational speech. It was really inspiring. And now, esteemed guests, speakers, panelists, participants, and future makers, it's with tremendous pleasure that I welcome you all to the closing ceremony of the 5th round of the IEEE Global Conference on AI and IoT 2021. In order to celebrate together the 50th Golden Jubilee of the UAE and the launch of the Hope Probe, we have prepared a surprise for you. Of course, I want to share with you a fact. Among the 4,500 worldwide teams participating at the NASA Space Apps International Challenge, a UAE-based team made us all proud by making it to the finale for the first time ever. Let's give them a round of applause. And in order to know more about this great achievement, I would like to invite on stage Engineer Muhammad Aboud, the chair of NASA Space App Dubai. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. Before celebrating together the success of Africa IoT and the iChallenge, and also closing ceremony of the 5th event of GIoT, I want to share with you this surprise that, as Angie said, from more than 4,500 teams all over the world, a team from United Arab Emirates qualified to be one of the top winners of the NASA Space App Challenge. NASA Space App Challenge started in United Arab Emirates last year, and this is the second time to be run in the United Arab Emirates. We ran 6 challenges in 6 different Emirates. The total number of partners was 7, 6 hackathons, more than 60 teams. All of these numbers, we got 6 teams qualified to compete with the 4,000 teams worldwide. And by the end of the competition, we qualified one of the winners to participate in the finals. I want to invite to the stage Dr. Isa Bastaki to recognize this success, the team that qualified to finale of NASA Space App. Please, Dr. Isa. Also, I want to invite the team, our 4 talented young entrepreneurs and scientists. They won the idea of team's name is Locust Locator, and the idea was amazing idea that convinced the judges to select them to be one of the top winners. I want to invite Samantha Alisa to the stage. Samantha. Yes. Could you please, in 1 minute, tell us quickly what is the idea that encouraged the judging committee to select you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Allison, and I'm one of the team members for Locust Locator. I'm very proud to be representing my whole team because the rest of us couldn't be here today. But what we wanted to do with our project was to tackle an issue that affects the MENA region. Locust swarms can be very detrimental once they form and can have a huge impact on mental health, access to education, and a lot of other issues that really connected with us. What we did was we used machine learning and AI technology to take satellite data that measures the conditions that locusts like to form in. So things like topsoil moisture, things like rainfall, etc., so that we can predict when and where these locust swarms will form. And we can preemptively prepare so that the impact and response is immediate, preventative, community-based, and hopefully we can reduce the impact that these swarms have overall.
I invite Dr. Isa to recognize Samantha and give her the trophy, and wish all the success for all Emirati teams that will participating for the next year, inshallah.
Congratulations. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, said, "It's the job of the governments is to create the environment in which people can achieve their happiness. Yes, the government's job is to achieve happiness. And in this conference, I believe we all agree that happiness in these days can hardly be attained without encouraging innovation and creativity, establishing digital disruption and transformation, and cultivating a culture that provides women and youngsters with opportunities for growth and development. Hence, over the past 3 days, the 5th round of this conference on AI and IoT 2021 has tackled the impact of digital disruption on societies through 2 main tracks: the technical papers and the industry and governments, which included the IEEE 5G, industry, Women in Tech summits, in addition to the Triple Helix exhibition and the closing of the IoT and AI challenge, which has expanded from Egypt to whole Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to each and every one of you on successfully accomplishing this mission and crossing the finish line of this global technical conference that gathered more than 180 local and international inspiring speakers and panelists, 450 on-ground and virtual attendees from 69 participating countries, as well as industry leaders, authors, practitioners, researchers, students, and future makers. Thank you all for this. Today, we are awarding those who have realized the dream on the land of opportunities, the United Arab Emirates. And we are actually recognizing the efforts of those who made all this possible through their valuable physical and virtual contributions. And on this note, I'll leave you with this video highlighting the best moments of the 5th round for the year 2021. And now, let's put our hands together to welcome on stage Dr. Mustafa Al-Nanai, Dean of the Faculty of Computer Science and Engineering at Al-Alamein International University in Egypt and the Technical Committee co-chair. He is going to briefly touch on the outcomes and his personal experience with the technical track on this year's conference. Welcome.
Thank you all, I bet you have been tired. It was 3 days of back-to-back sessions, presentations, and competition. It is my pleasure actually to represent the TBC committee in the closure on behalf of all of my colleagues that have exerted a lot of efforts actually to get the technical part together. We started this 2017 with invited talks, and that has been improved year by year. And despite the COVID effect, we have received almost the same number of submissions like the last year. And we kept our acceptance rate on the same percentage of around 40%. But actually the quality of the papers have been increased year over year. And to our surprise that we started by invited talks, and then the first call of the first call of papers was in 2018. Most of the submissions at that time was from Egypt. This year, we have received submissions from 27 countries, from authors from 27 countries around the world. And we have accepted papers from authors from 16 countries around the world. And the top country actually is Germany. And the next one is United States, and then Egypt and United Arab Emirates came third and fourth in the list. On behalf of the TBC chair, who is this year Dr. Sami Tawab from James Madison University, and I was helping as a co-chair, and we had a number of track chairs from different countries, from Japan, from United States, from UK, from United Arab Emirates, and from Kuwait. I would like to thank all the organizers for this amazing event, all the TBC committee and the reviewers who have put the effort to review all the papers submitted to the TBC, the technical track, and all the authors who made all their efforts to submit this high quality papers to our technical track. And I would like to encourage you to submit more and more papers and come and see you in New Alamein City next year, inshallah. Thank you all. Thanks for Dr. Isa Bastaki and for United Arab Emirates and University of Dubai for hosting the conference for the past 3 years. And we hope that we can do the same quality next year, inshallah, in New Alamein City. Thank you.
And now from the technical track, let's learn more about the IEEE 5G Summit 2021 with Dr. Latif Ladid, founder and president of IPv6 Forum and chair of IEEE ComSoc Technical Subcommittee and chair of IEEE 5G Summit. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Angie, for that top moderating this conference. She's a singer as well, so you should maybe look at YouTube, some of the best songs that she's doing, far better than the presentations here. You know, UAE, 20,000 years ago, the Tigris River was coming all the way to this place. So due to the warming for the last 20 years, so the sea has gone through the Gulf, you know, over the years up to Iraq. And the people that lived there, they moved with the time going up there until they formed a small village called Uruk, where the name Iraq comes from. So it's quite interesting to see that today we are in the UAE, where there's nothing, and the UAE people have invented themselves to be in such a wonderful place. And as a matter of fact, the 5G deployment was first done in this country, although we have only about 250 million 5G users around the world, and the majority of them, 80%, are in China. So it's quite interesting to see that the old world, so Europe and the US, are not really catching up anymore. This is the time for the other countries that were not connected and they were not having the internet are really taking their chance and leapfrogging and becoming the next nations, to enrich themselves with knowledge and also with business. So it's really, a moment of synergy and a moment of inflection, to be on the first stage around the world. So I would like to congratulate this part of the world, especially the Middle East and Africa, getting together here and doing their own things with their own hands and their brains. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
So, as you all might know, the Women in Tech Summit has been a vocal advocate of women empowerment. On this note, I would like to give a warm welcome to Dr. Buthaina Talili, Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology in Dubai and Chair of Women in Tech Summit. Dr. Buthaina is going to share her insights on this year's Women in Tech Summit.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to chair the second edition of Women in Tech Summit. Since most of you did not participate with us today, so I would like to summarize what happened today at Women in Tech Summit. So we started with our keynote speech by Vidya Ramnath, from Emerson. She's the president of Emerson. She talked about green initiatives and diversity as drivers for innovation and continuous transformation. She talked about how business can navigate through and keep up with digital disruption by shifting their focus on sustainability and diversifying their workforce. It highlighted how a global company like Emerson approaches sustainability across fronts through their green framework and how they stay on track of their strategic green initiative by diversifying their workforce. We had 4 panels today, and our panelists came from different parts of the world. They participated in person and virtually. Our first panelist, in panel 1, our panelists shed light on the importance of building technologies and industries for good, which addresses the SDG and SDG impacted industries, as well as the necessity to build a new ecosystem to address zero hunger, health, inclusivity, and innovation for all. Our second panel was about power of belonging to communities, and some ideas that resonated are such as community is the way of governance, the new way of governance, community taking ownership of finding solutions. We should look for common objective in joining a community, be intentional about connecting, how we can add values to others, and how to elevate other women. Panel 3 was about women in leadership, and some thoughts that we have discussed how companies might change internally to recruit and retain female employers. Any business must bring diversity to succeed and to so they can have innovation coming to the business. Panel 4 was, I think, the best panel. It's about well-being as an accelerator of human input. Some thoughts that we discussed. Well-being health is the key to our success, especially after COVID. Well-being should be our focus. Talking about our mental struggle should not be a taboo. Create a space for ourselves and be advocate for well-being. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Buthaina. And now let's figure out together what our next speaker, Engineer Suhaib Qamar Sheikh, Industry Summit Chair and former IEEE Region 8 Vice Chair for Technical Activities. Let's see what he has prepared for us.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and good day, everyone. All of you have had a long day, so I'll keep it short and sweet for you all. But I really want to sort of take a step back and give you an idea about the Industry Summit itself and why it started. So this year, we actually had the 3rd edition of the Industry Summit. The idea came up back in 2019, where we wanted to come up and prepare a summit for technical professionals who are not involved in research and bring together industry leaders from different parts of the world to give practical use cases to these industry practitioners in the areas of AI and IoT so that they can take them back to their companies and apply them. Since then, the Industry Summit has grown multiple folds, and I'm proud to say that this year we had 3 excellent speakers giving keynotes, ranging from human-centric innovative thinking all the way to sensorless sensing. We also had 6 panel discussions ranging from 4th Industrial Revolution to the role of youth, financial inclusion, and transformation in Africa, among other topics. A major focus this year was also on entrepreneurship and ensuring that we bring forward use cases from startups who are spreading all across the MENA region. I would like to really thank the conference itself for helping us organize the Industry Summit year on year and helping us grow year on year. Special thanks to Dr. Isa Bestaki, the conference, and the Technology and Engineering Management Society for their patronage of the Industry Summit. Special thanks also to our sponsors, especially the Bania Group. Thank you so much. Muhammad Aboud and the whole organizing committee for all your support. IEEE Region 8 and the Region 8 Entrepreneurship Committee for all the excellent work they have been doing to support us as well. And I wouldn't be able to wrap this up without thanking our excellent panelists, speakers, and moderators who really brought to life all of our discussions and panels. Thank you so much, everyone. And we hope to bring back a larger and better Industry Summit to you next year in Al Ain City. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Suhaib. In fact, now I consider it a great honor to invite on stage the conference chair and president of the University of Dubai, Dr. Isa Bestaki, who's going to award the main strategic, technical, and community partners who have contributed to the success of this year's conference. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Isa Bestaki on stage.
Okay. I see. There's the ending comments I have to give. They gave me 1 minute, and I think sometimes they say nothing is possible, or 1 minute is impossible. Well, first of all, good evening to all of you. I would like to thank you, especially the engineer Hamid Aboud, Dr. Latif Nadeed, Dr. Ahmed Mekhi, and Dr. Chen, and Dr. Buthaina, really, and Isra, don't forget her. And of course, all the chairs, even Yat, of course, the both of them to Dubai. And as you said, she's an excellent singer. Don't to follow her, Angie Music Official. You can listen to her voice, a very beautiful voice, very close to Fairuz. Anyway, so thank you all very much. Everybody knows who are behind the scenes working hard. All of you, thank you very much. I think you look at the last 3 days, you can see that we had 3 summits: the 5G summit, the Women Tech Summit, and the Industry Summit. Then you go to some competitions, the NASA Apps competition, and the IoT and AI Africa Challenge. And all these together, and then you go into the technical track, and then the industrial technical track. Now, if you sum them together, I don't think you can call it a conference. It should be Global Congress and Internet of Things, Artificial Intelligence, Internet of Things. So maybe you need to change it next time and make it bigger and call it a Congress more than calling it a conference. The conference went well. We enjoyed the technical details. We had the panel discussions, we had keynote speeches, and so many good things happened that we learned a lot after we went out from this door, realized that we are learning more and more as we come down. So it was an successful, the 5th one. We hope that also the 6th one will be a success and a better success, inshallah. So Dr. Mustafa, thank you also. I forgot you. Thank you also. It's not you don't want to copy us. You want to become better, inshallah ta'ala. And we are here to serve you anytime. Once you want to bring it back here, we are very receiving all your comments and receiving your efforts, and we'll welcome you to come back to Dubai in the maybe 7th or 8th, whatever you think you like. So thank you all of you very much for being a part and participating in this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Isa, and we'd like to have you with us on stage because the time that everyone has been waiting for has come, the awarding segment in which we are delighted to honor the representatives of partners during this year's conference. We would like to start with the organizing partners, IEEE Technology and Engineering Management Society, Mr. Andy Chen, President of IEEE Thames.
Hi, everybody. Last time I was here was 2 years ago, 2019, for the 3rd edition of GCAIoT. And that was the last trip that I was in physical term for the conference. And 2 years goes by. This is the first conference I was able to come in and attend in person. And I think it's amazing what is down here. If you see, this is actually 2 conferences happening, a physical conference and a virtual conference. There are actually 2 teams of people that are coordinating synchronously to make it happen. The hybrid has been very challenging to organize. In IEEE, we organize thousands of conferences, and we're still scratching our heads how to do hybrid. And I think this is a fine example of how the team could actually bring it together. And we are here, we enjoy the actual presence of everybody. And there are hundreds of people out there that watching this ceremony. And this is a tremendous, tremendous event. So I'd like to thank everybody, especially for the organizing committee, to make such a fantastic conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please receive your award from Dr. Isa. And since you're both on stage, I would also like to award the University of Dubai President and IEEE UAE section as well, conference chair of this conference actually, Dr. Isa Bastaki. So Mr. Andy is going to give the award to Dr. Isa Bastaki now. Thank you very much. And now we would like to award the IEEE Region 8 in Europe and Middle East and Africa, of course, Mr. Peter Nagy, Vice Chair Technical Activities 2021-2022, IEEE Region 8, please. Thank you very much for the organizing partners. And now it's time for the strategic partners. Let's put our hands together for Benya Group and its representative, Mr. Ahmed Maki, Chairman and CEO of Benya Group. And now, representing the IEEE Women in Engineering is Dr. Buthaina Al-Talili, Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology and Chair of Women in Tech Summit. Well, thank you for the strategic partners. Now we're moving on to the technical partners. The IPv6 Forum, represented by Dr. Latif Ladid, the founder and president of the IPv6 Forum and chair of IEEE ComSoc Technical Subcommittee. We would like also to thank Zayed University for being a technical partner, but also, unfortunately, I don't think we have any representatives from the university, so let's give them a round of applause as well. Now, the Emirates Science Club and engineer Ashraf Amin, Emirates Science Club manager, please come to our stage. He's not here? Okay, Dr. Isa Bastaki will also take this award. So this award goes to the Emirates Science Club. Now we're going to move on to our community partners, and we'll start off by awarding the IEEE Africa Council and Dr. Vincent Kabunga, Director in Knowledge Management at AKEM Consulting. we would also like to award the IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative, and we have two representatives for this one. Rawan Al-Jamal, IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative 2021 and co-leader. Please join us on stage. And Mr. Muhammad Adallal, IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative team leader. And last but not least, Africa IoT and AI Challenge representative, Engineer Hussein Mustafa, Program Manager of IoT and AI Challenge. Please join us on stage. Well, thank you to all honorable guests and speakers for making this edition of IEEE GCAIoT exceptionally insightful and successful. Thank you, everyone. Now, over the past years, it has been a long journey, and thank you, Dr. Isa. You want to take a photo, his famous selfie? Yes, of course. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, over the past years, it has been a long journey where the conference hosted the Egypt IoT and AI Challenge, which now has reached the Arab region, and most significantly, as we announced last year, Africa IoT and AI Challenge. Let's give it up to Africa. And we are gathering this year, celebrating the first edition of this program. Now, I'll leave the floor to Engineer Muhammad Aboud, IEEE Thames Regional Activities Chair, to tell us more about this program.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everyone. Actually, I'm so happy to come to this point with all of you because Africa IoT Challenge, as Ahmed was speaking about your experience doing the under submarine cable and all challenges that you faced. Actually, when we started Africa IoT Challenge, it was not Africa, it was Egypt IoT Challenge in 2016. And the idea come from building the capacity for Egypt to get qualified engineers in the area of AI and IoT, because there is need for qualified engineers and qualified people who understand and know more about this kind of technology. And after that, we find that it is not only Egypt. We need to expand. We need to increase our impact. We need to reach more. And after 2 years from doing the Egyptian IoT and I Challenge, it becomes Arab IoT and I Challenge with 4 Arab countries. And by the way, when Dr. Isa speaks about the conference, it is not a conference. We say about IoT and I, it is a movement. We are doing a movement that achieve the partnership, the triple helix model. Actually, a lot of people speak about triple helix and how they can encourage triple helix model. We did it. We did it. We did the partnership. We did the interaction between academia, industry, and government. After this 3 years, in the 4th year, the total number of the Arab countries participated is 6 Arab countries. At this time, Ahmed Mikki and Ahmed Hayri and Ravi from the IEEE, we did a panel in GCIoT 2020 last year, and we announced it at this time we are going to do Africa IoT and I Challenge. And there was a big question: are we really able to do this challenge? during Corona and at what we are facing, can we do this event? We did a big plan, and we expect maximum we will can reach 2 or 3 countries at most. But finally, we did Africa IoT and I Challenge with 6 African countries. And for the coming year, we got confirmation from 17 African countries that will participate in this challenge all over African continent. I will go quickly with the total number of teams that participated for this year challenge. We have 700 and more teams from 6 African countries participated in the Africa IoT and I Challenge. Most of them, as you see the graph, we have startups, graduation projects, and some few numbers of high school teams. We are going to increase the number of students to participate in this challenge because it's very important to reach to the young generation to be able to understand this kind of technology and to know more. This is the country participated. Although we have 6 countries, but we have also different teams from different countries, but we encourage them to join next year when we start with another new countries joining the challenge. We have now 100 partners all over the continent. We did this partnership in only 6 months. We succeeded to integrate. Thank you very much for all partners from all the African continent who participate and join us to make this happen. Also, we have a very strong outreach from media partners who covering all of the activities we are doing, and they are keen and interested to support it more. I will leave you with 1 or 1.5 minutes that summarize what is Africa IoT and AI Challenge.
Well, this impressive work needs recognition, and hence I'd like to invite the esteemed partners and sponsors that participated in organizing the Africa IoT and AI Challenge on stage to receive their awards. But before that, I would like to have with us on stage again, Mr. Andy. I know you've been exercising with us for the past 3 days. And Mr. Muhammad Aboud. And our first representative is Dr. Peter Naji, Vice Chair Technical Activities, 2021 and 2022, IEEE Region 8. Dr. Peter, please. And our second representative is Dr. Vincent Kabunga, Director, Knowledge Management at AKEM Consulting, IEEE Africa Council. And third on the list is Benya Group, again, Mr. Ahmed Mekki, Chairman and CEO of Benya Group. And of course, Africa Challenge official sponsor. And last but not least, FinTech track sponsor, Bank Misr. And the representative is Mr. Ihab Durra, Chief Consumer and Payment Officer. And now, dear distinguished judges, please join us on stage, all of you, for a group picture. The judges, please. Well, they deserve a big round of applause. Was pretty hectic. Thank you very much. And of course, we can never miss this out. We have to recognize the efforts of our respected local organizers. Please come on stage, join us on stage for a group picture as well. And we have with us Basma Yunus from Tunis, IoT and AI Challenge. Favor Ruhio from Kenya, IoT and AI Challenge. And Professor Venantius Berimuriba from Uganda, IoT and AI Challenge. Thank you. Thank you, organizers. And I would like to request Mr. Andy to stay with us on stage. Just bear with us for a few more seconds, Mr. Andy. No, thank you. Thank you very much. From local organizers, let's recognize the tremendous efforts of the most innovative partners throughout the past years of this program by calling on stage Dr. Isa Bastaki one more time, because the appreciation award goes for the best academic partner, the University of Dubai. He is the president of the University of Dubai. And now, the best innovation company in the Middle East region award goes to, one more time, Benya Group. Mr. Ahmed Meki. They deserve another round of applause. Okay, we'd like to have you with us on stage for the last time. Because, and last but not least, it's time to announce the winners. And for that, I'd like to invite Mr. Hussein Mustafa to join me in announcing the results.
Good evening, all. So firstly, let me give a large congratulations for all the teams who participated with us along the last year. We have 6 countries. We have more than 300 teams from different categories. We have teams from startups, from graduation projects, and from STEM. So now is the moment. And now Africa is connected. So let's start with the high school track and the prize for the most promising idea from Egypt Maps team.
And the third place for graduation projects goes to Morocco. This team joined virtually, and it was under the title of Edtronics. They are not here, so let's give them another round of applause.
Actually, we already booked the air tickets for Moroccan team and we booked all the arrangements, but because of Omicron, they're not able to travel. So we did the judging remotely and they joined the judging panel and one of them won the floor.
Okay, and now for the second place for graduation projects from Uganda, Nox Hexa Technologies.
And now, the first place for graduation projects from Nigeria goes to Language AI.
And now for the startups track, our judging panel faced the problem that we have many good startups. So we have 4 prizes for the startups track. And let's start with third place shared prize for startups. It goes to iHelp from Egypt. And the third place prize for startups track from Uganda, Woodwork International Ltd.
And now, the second place for startups goes to Kenya, Swift Lab Limited. This group joined virtually, and unfortunately, we cannot give them the award. Do you have anyone from Kenya here who can represent their team? Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much for representing the team and your country. And please pass it over to them. Thank you. And now the first place for startups goes to Morocco, iSense. And this team also joined us virtually. So if we have anyone from Morocco to represent this team, it would be lovely. Yes, please. Thank you, Dr. Latif. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, esteemed guests and future makers, thank you for attending this edition of the IEEE Global Conference on AI and IoT. Hope we see you next year on the 6th edition in Egypt. Thank you very much. We'd like to have a group photo with all of you. So please join us with the winners, participants, and everyone.